I want to thank you for being here today. And the purpose for the press conference this afternoon is to notify our community that recently we were made aware of several of our schools in our district that will require air quality remediation. We are here also to assure everyone that we are being proactive and that our children will be kept safe. At this time, what I'd like to do is introduce Andrew Fernandez, our Public Information Officer. Andrew.
Good afternoon. Harlandale ISD recently became aware of the presence of mold in certain facilities. It is believed that the mold is related to HVAC systems designed and installed by the party in the identified facilities. The district is currently involved in litigation in an effort to hold the party we believe is responsible for the mold issue. Harlandale ISD is in the process of relocating students and staff in the most affected areas to ensure their safety during the remediation process. Harlandale ISD's top priority is the welfare and safety of our students and staff. As a family working together, please be assured we are acting in the best interest of our students and staff. Thank you for your support and patience during this time. We'll open it up for questions. I'll introduce you to the gentleman to my right. Dr. Rojas is our district physician. Mr. Tony Resendez is with Walsh Gallegos. Mr. Woody Wilson is with Wilson and Sanchez.
My name's Tony Resendez. I'm one of the attorneys for the district, and we're helping the district with the lawsuit. And previously, we served as general counsel, helping the district deal with these issues. Just to clarify, there are 8 campuses that children and staff are going to be relocated within those campuses. There's 2 additional campuses. There's a total of 10. There's a lawsuit that is against Train. Train put units at 10 school districts, and at all 10 of those school districts, there's mold. But 8 of them are at a level where we have to take action now. We found out about that during the process of discovery during this lawsuit against Train. Now, that took time. The lawsuit's been on file since August of 2012. It's scheduled to go to trial August 2016. So during that process of discovery, with experts coming down to analyze the air conditioning systems, experts coming down to analyze the process, the procedures that took place, part of the investigation and the review involved the humidity. And during that analysis is when we determined that there was a mold issue. And we have a gentleman with the Lanier Law Firm who is the lead counsel on the case. And any specific questions about the lawsuit can be directed to the Lanier Law Firm or to Lee. There was different levels of mold detected early on. And I can't, back in maybe 2008, 2009. The mold was on the surface of certain objects. There wasn't, the level of the mold that we're dealing with now is a little bit different. So that wasn't determined until, we had our expert out here. When was that, Lee?
In the late fall, early winter.
Late fall, early winter.
2015.
Were any, I don't know if you want to answer this question, but
Sure.
as far as the children and staff, was there any type of, did anyone experience any type of illness or anything, reaction to this?
What I can share, not to our knowledge at this point, what we've also done is the idea that it involves these 8 different schools that I've identified. But again, it's only in isolated areas. For example, one school just identified to one classroom, one particular school to a certain administrative area. They're not all classrooms per se where there's students in them. Some of it involves some of our professional staff. We put a plan of action together where we've already met with administration, and we're actually working right now to relocate those children within, or those administrators or office staff within their campus in other areas that we don't need to remediate the air quality or anything of that. So that's taking place as we speak and into early next week. But we have met with the campus administrators earlier this morning after, again, becoming aware of the situation. And like I mentioned earlier, our staff and district staff and our board are taking every measure possible to ensure the safety of all of our children. We've also will take some other actions as needed and move forward with it. But we are implementing that plan of action as we speak and into next week. No, sir, not at the time. Not that I can answer that question. And some of those specific questions, I'll leave those up to our legal counsel and our experts in that area feel.
How many people is affected now?
Right now, well, some of the classrooms that we're talking about, it could be as many as some of them are smaller classrooms where they're just more used as a resource classroom. Some of them could be as many as 22 or 22 students in a classroom. It can vary from classroom to classroom. Some of them, one single employee, so it varies from school to school.
Now, with relocating the students, is that teacher and her, his or her classroom going to a whole separate building, or are these students being separated in 4s and 5s to different?
Right now, what staff's been able to do and identify after meeting with administration, if we've identified a classroom with a specific situation, you mentioned a teacher and a group of students, and that teacher and that group of students will relocate to another classroom within that campus that's safe.
So they're going to be separated into groups?
Not necessarily into groups. We feel that, or from the observation and the walkthroughs that we've done and the communication we've had with district staff, we have ample room in our schools to be able to make these modifications as needed.
How expensive is it going to be to fix this problem?
Not sure yet. I know that I'm working closely with our business office. I really couldn't share a number with you right now, but I know that
Any idea?
right now what I'd like to do is maybe, I don't know if Tony, you may want to share that with it exactly. I'm not sure exactly. I know that the board has given me directive to go ahead and remediate as needed and go ahead and be able to apply any dollars as needed to remediate the situation as soon as possible. That's what we're doing. But again, I don't
But
specifically, I couldn't.
Any idea? $10, $2 million?
The lawsuit that's been on file, which is public record, does specifically talk about the damages. And the damages could be expensive, in the millions of dollars to fix these issues.
How many? I'm sure you have an idea.
Oh yeah, we have an idea. The lawsuit specifically says we're suing Train for $76 million.
76.
$76 million. And that includes the money that was spent by the district, the savings that was supposedly be guaranteed, as well as the cost of fixing these 10 buildings where the air conditioning systems are not working properly.
I'm sorry, is 10 or is 8 buildings?
There's 10 buildings where Train was involved. All 10 of those have issues. 8 of the buildings are buildings where we need to take immediate action and move staff and students. Now, one of the other questions I believe you asked is what else is the district doing to inform the parents and deal with this, is having this press conference. And part of this is going to be posted online for the district, for the parents to see. And we brought the doctor here to share, which I'd like for you to come, Dr. Rojas, and share just in general about mold. Because parents are going to want to know, is this going to affect my kid? Is this going to affect an employee? So we brought the doctor on board to share with you all and with the community what can happen and what you need to do if something does come up.
Good afternoon. First of all, let me clarify this. The mold is not the problem. It's the spores it gives off. And those are in the air, in this room, everywhere, but at very low levels, so they're not a problem. Our body is equipped to manage them. The problem occurs when it's high concentrations. And what are the two main things that we have to deal with as physicians dealing with people exposed to mold is allergic reactions. The runny nose, watery, itchy eyes, a cough, those are the symptoms. And they're usually fairly benign and can be managed well. Remove the individual from that environment and give them medication to control it. The second would be asthma. Asthma can be made worse by allergies. If you control the allergy, you'll control the asthma. So unless the third one, and I should say a third one is, and that would be mostly adults, and that would I would concern myself with staff that is much older, that were smokers or have lung disease, because then it could create problems. Rarely seen in my 27 years, not had to deal with that because of that complication. But in older individuals with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, it can create, increased shortness of breath. It can create more problems. Up to now, I am not aware of anyone having a problem in any of these schools. It can usually be managed easily and quickly, but the problem is at higher concentrations when the spores are more concentrated in the air. And again, I emphasize that spores are everywhere, inside and out. Problem is at high concentrations, which is what our concern is at this time, and that's why they're addressing it and remediating as quickly as possible. Okay, any questions for me?
I just wanted to get more clarification on parents. I know parents are, what are other
What I can share with you,
His website.
what I can share with you is, and also Andrew can add on to it, is that what we've done is, as I mentioned earlier, that we've met with our campus principals and shared with them. We have also provided a letter for every school to send home today. So this afternoon, when our kids get released here shortly, they'll all be going home with a letter identifying if their classroom or there has been identified as one of those rooms that we need to remediate. So we're taking that active approach. And of course, we've created a phone line also, a district phone line, where parents with any concerns can call, both in English and Spanish. So we've created that. And also we put information on our webpage with again, some information we've gotten from the mold experts, and we've provided that online. Andrew, is there anything else you want to share with me?
I think you covered it. Each letter going home is going to vary today. For example, there's just the administration building is being affected at McCullum, or at Carroll Bell, it's just a classroom. So we made those letters specific to the campus, and they'll be sent home today in English and in Spanish. Like Mr. Madrigal pointed out, we have a hotline for our parents. It's 989-4000. There's information about what's going on their campus. It'll refer to the website to give them a list of campuses and exact rooms that are being affected. And then, so the letter, the hotline, and then also information online at harlandale.net, where parents can also fill out a form if they have any questions or concerns. That goes straight to our emails, and then we'll be able to answer those questions for those parents.
And I would just like to add one thing. When these letters go out, for any parent that would be concerned that their child has been affected with allergies or their asthma's may be worse, I strongly recommend a follow-up with their primary care physician. Again, I emphasize this can usually be managed very quickly and easily and resolved. But if there's a doubt or you're concerned in any way, follow up with your primary care physician. Okay? Thank you.
And I have one last question. In the meantime, I know the process, legal process is a while. What type of steps are being taken now to kind of clear the mold up?
Yes. Right now, currently, our Office of Operations and that department is, along with our business office, is partnered up to, again, purchase the equipment that we need to remediate the air quality in these classrooms that we've identified, or these office spaces that we've identified. And we're in that process right now.
Did Train work on any other buildings in the district, or just those 10?
Again, to my knowledge, and I'll let Tony, to my knowledge, of what I'm aware of is those 10 specific buildings that have been identified. One other building that we didn't, two other buildings of the 10 that we didn't identify was Harlandale High School and Terra Wells, but those did not come out in our report of areas that we need to remediate. But again, I'll have Tony.
The facilities that are part of this lawsuit are related to an agreement, a pact agreement that involved 10 schools. There were 2 other campuses, I believe, that Train equipment was on, but it wasn't part of this 10-school group. So the other 2 schools that have Train equipment are okay. Different systems. Does that make sense?
Do you know about other cases in other districts, in other places with the system in the same condition?
I do not know. No,
No?
I don't.
Okay.
And this case actually goes back to 2008?
The actual agreement was signed back in 2001, but it took them time to put those systems in. You know, these are 10 campuses, so by the time they were all in it, that was going on in 2002, 2003, I can't even remember, maybe even up to 2004. But then it wasn't until over time that the concerns started to show themselves. And then there was a time where the district was trying to work with Train to get them resolved. And obviously that didn't work, so we filed the lawsuit.